Something I think a lot of my favorite big-hearted black sheep rebel entrepreneurs don't realize might be behind why they feel like they keep marketing and marketing their offer. They've worked with mentors, they've taken courses, they've figured out the value of their offer, and they keep showing up in their marketing, and it keeps like not selling. It keeps not getting the results they want. I think one of the things that they often don't realize is missing or is kind of off, unconsciously projecting some actually back up, stay away, I'm not ready for this vibes, is bringing a sense of the way you communicate in your marketing is akin to walking on eggshells. And I think a lot of my people have had the experience in their past where they have been met with very negative reactions when they show up unmasked. So maybe you're neurofestive like me. Maybe you inhabit a marginalized identity or historically marginalized or otherwise, and you have been strongly conditioned that you have to assimilate to stay safe in the workplace, in certain groups, in certain places. So it's literally not safe to take the mask off. You have to adjust how you present yourself, adjust how you communicate for the comfort of others so as to prevent some sort of unpleasant reaction. And when you're in enough of these situations, or they happened in enough for you at formative times in your life enough, it became really hard to show up as yourself authentically, in just how you talk and being relaxed in how you communicate with people, in voicing your needs, in indicating what your values are, in indicating what your boundaries are. And so you learned cleverly, like the brilliant being you are, how to adjust on the fly, how to adjust how you show up, to keep yourself safe, to pacify other people, to keep them calm, to keep them comfortable, to prevent any sort of negative reaction or negative response. So I think this can show up in your marketing in a lot of ways. One is when you're crafting your marketing, so when you're sitting down and writing your sales page, when you are making your social media posts, when you're doing your reels or your TikToks or your videos, and you're picking what to talk about, who are you talking to? Because I think a lot of y'all don't realize this, but you're talking to that skeptical parent, that ex-partner who was really worried about the risk of you starting a business, of that teacher that told you you didn't have what it takes. You're talking to your critics. You're talking to the people that fed into your doubts, who are never meant to be your customers in the first place. But when you're meant to show up on this vast internet and tell people about your business, what you have on offer, why it's going to be amazing, why it's going to change their lives, and you feel like you're in an empty room just talking to yourself, or you're just talking to your phone, or you're just, writing, the person on the other end, you start picturing, is this person that doesn't believe in you, or that wants you to put that mask back on to fit into their concept of comfortability, and willingness to engage with you. And this can be a really painful realization when you realize you're doing this, especially when I ask you, well, who would you rather be talking to instead? Now, sometimes this is easy. You might have like a client you've already worked with, or like a colleague or a friend, or you're like, they should definitely work with me. Like, this is exactly the person I could help. And you can start speaking to them. But even then, we tend to often have this roadblock internally where we're like, but they haven't bought for me yet, or they wouldn't think I'm good enough, or I don't know how to talk to them because I haven't felt comfortable in a conversation with my ideal client. Or even harder, I struggle to believe I actually have an ideal client out there. There's someone that would see what I have to offer and value it. at how I'm pricing it. They would value me. They would value my perspective. They would value all that I bring to the table. They would value me without me having to show up with my mask on. And this can bring up such deep grief. Like, I wind up working with so many clients on this very thing. When we realize we're either just talking into the void or we're picturing our critics when we're crafting our marketing. And then we try to figure out who is the ideal client in the first place. And then we have these, that's the reason. That's the reason your marketing is struggling to connect, because we don't have someone we're actually offering a connection to, because we don't trust that they're out there or that they'd say yes. And so that's really unconsciously affecting your communication and how you show up and talk about your marketing. And it makes it hard for people to realize you're talking to them. So it winds up being this kind of deeply healing experience. It tends to be we're going into the shadows before we go into the light to figure out, wait, who are our people? And to build up the belief in my clients that your people do not require your mask. They don't want your mask. They want you. They want you exactly the way your neurofestive brain is. They want you exactly the way you say things. They want you with your quirks. They want you with your sense of humor. They want you with all your weirdness, because that version of you is the only one that can bring the information to them in the way that is going to heal them, is going to change their lives, inspire them. Like, a lot of us, especially if you're a coach, if you're in the healing wellness industry, like, a lot of us are saying different versions of the same message, but there's a reason why you can hear a similar message from 10 different coaches, and it's the 11th coach who said it in their specific way, with their specific context and nuance and background that they're bringing to the table. And that's the person that made it click for you, that brought it home, that made it so you could make sense of it and implement it into your life. So you, unmasked exactly as you are, the version of you your critics don't like, the version of you that your critics want to silence or want you to regress somehow to keep them comfortable, that's the version that we need to be loud, to have a platform, to have a megaphone in your marketing to attract your aligned customers. Because your aligned customers don't want your mask, they want you. And they are out there. I promise you. I promise you. But if you are one of these people and you're recognizing it for yourself, and that like, oh, I really don't have a clear idea of who my ideal customer is. I can't picture their face, or when I do, or maybe I have some people in mind, but when I think about actually talking to them, something comes up in my body, something comes up emotionally, and I keep diverting my attention. I can't face this exercise. I keep feeling like I should do it and going another direction. I apologize. Getting over a cold. If that's you, and you haven't been able to force yourself to do it by yourself yet, it would be a really good idea to get some support here, and some really specific skilled support. So yes, the business context of it, like, who is your ideal client? Let's get clear on them. So we are crafting our marketing specifically to talk to them, so it's unmistakable. They know you're exactly the right person for this offer, that they are exactly the right person that you can specifically help. Yes, so we want to talk about the business context of it, but we also probably want to work through what's making you struggle to believe that such people are out there, that exist, who don't need you to mask, who don't need you to be anything other than what you are right now, to sell this offer and to have them be absolutely thrilled to get to participate in it, to benefit from your medicine, your unique brilliance, your wisdom. What is blocking you from believing that? And can we work through that? Can we shift some beliefs? Can we update some of the stories you're telling yourself so that you can stop limiting yourself to believing the only people that would buy from you, that could make your business successful, are the same people that have held you back all your life. Those are not your ideal customers. And I want to drive this home. I'll use a personal example. So in roughly the last 2 weeks-ish, there were 2 different people in my personal life I had to have kind of challenging for me conversations with, like conversations about expectations and needs and boundaries. And the first person I broached this conversation with, it didn't go great. There was a very shutting it down energy. Yes, I'll just say whatever you want to get out of this right now, sort of vibe. And then it resulted in less connection rather than more, which was what I wanted. I was bringing up like needs and boundaries because I wanted more connection with this person. And I was reminded how painful that is to show up in your vulnerability, in your truth, in your openness and willingness, and to be sharing like a heartfelt message with someone that cannot receive it, that does not have capacity or desire to meet you there and work with you. And I think this is why an experience just like this, or having many experiences just like this, where you showed up with your bright, vulnerable, open, honest, innocent heart in good faith, and had that vulnerability met with rejection, with punishment, with turning away, with abandonment, betrayal, loss. I think having such fresh emotional memories of that, if that's your go-to thought process for when you say what you have to bring to the table, the value you're presenting, where you want to go from here, what kind of connection you want. If that's your go-to emotional memory, of course you struggle to show up like that in your marketing because you want to avoid just that kind of reaction because it hurts, right? But here, let's take person number 2. So person number 2, I had to have a difficult conversation with, and I was really nervous because this conversation with person number 1 did not go at all the way I wanted it to go. Now, person number two listened, was open, was accepting, and made me feel so seen. Like, about 10 seconds into talking with person number 2, I felt my anxiety calm down. I'm like, oh, he's not going to freak out. He's not going to pull away. I don't have to change anything about my truth in order for this person to get my message, get where I'm coming from, get where I'm coming from and what I'm trying to do. And conversation with person number 2, very similar conversation as to person number 1, resulted in more connection, more closeness, and more safety and comfort for me in this connection, because he proved himself to be a safe space for my vulnerability, a safe space for my honesty, my courage to bring this up, and was willing to meet me there. And that felt really good. Okay, that felt really good in so many levels. Yes, this was these were personal life conversations, not marketing conversations. But I want you to think about, what if your ideal customer is like person number 2 in this situation, where when you make your offer, when you explain the value, when you explain why you care so much about bringing this work into the world, specifically to help your ideal customers, what if it's received like person number 2 received this difficult conversation with me, where they're like, yes, tell me more. I want this connection with you. I want to benefit from your brilliance and your medicine and your vibes. And yes, of course, I will pay what you are offering, because I want you to feel valued and respected and honored for what you are bringing to the table here. Damn, right? Kind of hot, right? So your ideal customers are going to receive you, the unmasked version of you, your precious vulnerability and courage to be speaking from the heart, like person number 2. They are going to meet you with acceptance, with strengthened connection, with, yes, tell me more. I want to get deeper in this with you. So, but if the way you are phrasing your marketing is as if everybody on the receiving end is going to receive it like person number one, you're going to have a really hard time being vulnerable enough to build that kind of connection, that soul-aligned connection with your soul-aligned clients. You're going to be showing up masked. You're going to be showing up tiptoeing around. You're going to be showing up afraid of what they are going to do next. So what we need to do is believe that there are enough person number two type people out there for you, for your offer, for your business, for your magic, so that when you are marketing, the person number two type of person is the person you are talking to. They are top of mind. And yes, because we're putting your marketing out there on the internet and all kinds of people are going to encounter it, you are going to get a lot of reactions like person number one. Possibly worse, probably worse. It's a hallmark. I celebrated when I got my first troll because I was like, hell yeah, I'm visible. And I'm being enough myself that people who are really not for me know it. They know it real quick. And I don't want them in my business. I don't want them sucking up my brilliance and time and energy. I want them to show themselves out. So it's actually good. But here's the thing. The way we handle a lot of the person number one type reactions to our marketing and don't let it shut us down and keep us from using our voice. Don't let it tempt us to put the mask back on and be less authentic, less ourselves, ask for less of what we need, value what we're bringing to the table, value our work less. The way we don't let a person number one type reaction do that to our marketing is we have so much faith that there are enough person number two examples out there. There are enough people out there that are for us, that will understand us, that want us to be us unmasked. And so when we make our marketing, it's talking to the person number two type. Now, the person number two type doesn't need you to stay surface level. They don't need you to make them comfortable. Because if you're going to a place that is uncomfortable, they know there's a reason for it and they're going to get something out of it that's good. That kind of connection, that kind of result, that kind of benefit, that kind of transformation, that kind of magic is not available for someone who only ever wants to keep it pleasant, surface level and comfy. They're not going to get the deep transformation and benefit from your work because they are not willing to go there. And so they should see themselves out. All right, well, I got a cold or a flu or something, so I don't know if I'm making sense. But anyway, if this sounds lovey-dovey parallel, it's because it is. I've got a secret offer going on right now. It is my business Valentine offer. I'm making it available for 4 people and 4 people only. 1 spot has been taken, so I have 3 spots open right now, but I'm talking to people about it. So if you want in on this, you gotta DM me quick, okay? Because it's gonna sell out. So if you want one of these spots, if you want to work on this very thing, building your belief that your ideal person is out there, that you do not need to show up masked and professional sheen polished to cover up your imposter syndrome in your marketing. If you want to make this whole thing of having a business and telling people about your offer so much more fun, so much more freeing, if you want marketing to feel like kind of like almost a spiritual art project that like literally attracts your most aligned people to you, and it gets to be easy, because marketing can be easy if we do this inner work, which is actually quite challenging. So it's like easy and hard. Like we do the hard to get to the easy. But if you haven't been able to do the hard to get to the easy because you don't know how, you don't know how to do it, or you can't make yourself do it on your own because it's uncomfortable, it's kind of scary, it's easier to do this with someone that can help you. And so that's what I'm doing in this business Valentine offer. It is 4 one-on-ones with me. $444 total, which is a really fucking big discount because individual session with me is usually $333 each. So for these 4 people, you're saving $888. And we are going to work on this thing. We're going to work on getting really clear on who our ideal client is, busting through any limiting beliefs that are preventing us from believing they're out there. We're going to work on who are we without the mask and how do we show up that way and how do we support ourselves when we get person number 1 reactions. We're also going to get really excited about what happens when we start showing up unmasked as our real self, asking for more and being able to say no when only less is offered. I'm really excited about this offer. Yes, it's about business. Yes, it's about marketing, but I think it's going to change your whole freaking life. So, if you could use this, DM me. If you have any questions, DM me. We will talk about it. And again, I have 3 spots left as of now. This offer goes poof on Friday, February 7th. I'm pretty sure it's going to sell out, so don't hesitate. Okay, love you, bye.